Hey guys, it's Ashley Cunningham here, and I have a video that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I just haven't really A, had the chance to do it, and B, really gotten to a point where I felt like I was ready, but then I realized like if I feel like I have to wait for some point, then I'm never going to do it because it's just going to be a constant work in progress, so I'm just doing it right now. And I'm really excited to share this with you because I love channeling and I love talking about spiritual experiences and all of that kind of stuff, guidance messages. That's what I do for fun and it's what I do for myself throughout the day. And I love to help others with guidance from their family, the ascended masters, angels, to their own higher self. Just tons of things are out there, spirits out there to connect with, and it's just so magical and exciting and amazing. And so when I first started to channel, I realized I need to be writing a bunch of stuff down, and I just started having, let's see if I can find it here. I don't have everything readily available. Like I said, I'm just kind of ripping off the band-aid, but I have notebooks, like just these little Moleskine notebooks that I just throw into my traveler's notebooks that I have. I just have slips of paper, those magnetic notepads that you can put on your fridge. I've just had a bunch of those around. I'm a big scrapbooker and I love to make junk journals, and I just have a ton of stuff, like stationery stuff, and that's part of one of my passions that I had before I really started channeling. Not that I don't have that passion now, but once I started connecting with spirit and kind of realizing that a lot of that stuff doesn't really mean that much, I kind of checked out of it a little bit. But with this project that I've been working on, it kind of blends all of my previous extensive hobbies with channeling and connecting with spirit, and just my sense of a need to journal, write down my experiences and write down messages, and just a beautiful space to collect all of those things. And I have a everyday carry. I don't know if any of you are into channeling, into stationery or traveler's notebooks or planners, but this is my everyday carry planner. And as you can see, it's really chunky, and I have lots of pictures and notes, and I carry this with me everywhere, and I write down messages as I get them throughout the day, and I do artwork in here. So it's just a really beautiful space. And then over time, as you can see, a wire holds it closed, or an elastic. Over time, I get to look back at this, and this is for a year, and this is an A6 size, if any of you are interested. And you can always ask me questions later about what kind of journals I use. If you guys are really into that like I am, I can go on and on about all the different products that I like. But I don't want to show you that today. I want to show you this notebook that I have. It's it's a leather one, and I've stopped buying leather. Looking for a really good company that sells basically not pleather, but like vegan leather. So I love that feel of leather, but I'm going more vegan now, and so I'm trying not to purchase leather goods like this anymore, because that's not really cool. But I had this, so I'm not going to get rid of it, but I love it so much. And yeah, it holds a notebook in here that I use to document all of the beings that I meet, some of the really special experiences that I have. I put photos in here, and I'm going to walk you through kind of how I set it up. And I want this to be not just me telling you how I do it. I want this to be a conversation. So when you see this, put in the comments below, like if you have some ideas that I can use in this journal, or this, I'm calling it a resource guide for now, or if you're doing something right now that you love, I would love to see pictures or hear a description, or if you want to make your own video and share it here, definitely let me know, and I'll support that. And I want to see your videos. I want to see you guys and how you do your own journaling around spiritual stuff. So around your channelings, around messages, around signs that you're seeing. I want to see that, because I think for a lot of people, writing is a way to really remember things, but it's also, to me, an art. I feel like it's just an expression of love and time and energy that it takes to put into one of these kind of things. It's just really cool to see when it's all done. And I don't think this is ever going to be done because this is a big project. And I'll go over the notebook itself and the type of paper and stuff in a minute. But the paper is very small. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. It's graph paper. This is a Namaste 7Cs A6 notebook, and it uses a special paper called Tomoe River paper, and it's super thin, like really, really, really thin. So that's how thick it is. But you can use fountain pens on this paper, and it doesn't seep through. And I don't know how they process this paper, but Tomoe River paper is my absolute favorite. And I have a lot of like gel pens and ballpoint pens and fountain pens that I like to use. So this paper really, it's amazing. It holds all different kinds of ink, but also it's super thin. And so a notebook like this, even though it's not very large, it literally has like 400 and some odd pieces of paper. And that's a lot of journaling and a lot of documentation that I can do and have it in one space at one time. And then when I am done, it's probably going to be really chunky because I'm going to be adding lots of things. And then it'll just be beautiful to sit on my shelf, and I can go back and reference it because this is going to be like a reference resource book. I do want to call out, I have been pretty fascinated by grimoires, which are basically for people who study the Wiccan religion or Wicca, or are kind of into witchcraft. A grimoire is like a book of shadows or a spell book where you document all of your spells and things like that in like a journal style. And I've been fascinated with them because they're just works of art and they're constantly evolving and they're beautiful. I'm not a witch or interested in witchcraft or Wicca or any of those types of religions or studies of nature, but I appreciate the artwork that goes into a grimoire. Or I'm really fascinated with the illuminated Bibles and the illuminated books and journals and things of the medieval period as well. So it's just really for me a sense of art, and so I've drawn a lot of inspiration from those I don't want to say hobbies, but from those processes of documentation and experiences. And yeah, so I just want to call that out because some people may think that this is like that, but it's definitely not. Basically, the difference is there's like spells and all that kind of stuff in like a grimoire, and mine, well, I'll just start breaking it down for you and you'll see that it's not really similar to that at all. But the intention is to make this beautiful in the style that I deem as beautiful, and something that I can go to for inspiration or solace, or just something to read when I want a big hug basically of energy to make me feel better. So yeah, that was a long-winded description of kind of where I'm going with this, but yeah, so this is the leather portion of it I'll tell you about. It's a Chic Sparrow. I don't know if any of you are interested in traveler's notebooks, but Chic Sparrow is a company that makes really high-end leather notebooks like this, and this is a folio, but they also make traveler's notebooks, which are these leather notebooks that have elastic in the spine, and you put your notebook, let's see if I can show you this way. You put your notebook on this elastic and it kind of holds everything in place. So instead of like a ring bound binder, it's elastic. And it's just a really amazing company. I love all their products. Like I said, I'm starting to move towards non-leather goods with my stationery and my notebooks and stuff, and I have a lot of them. So I'm really working on transitioning into a different company that supports some of my values and all that good stuff. But I had this. It's a purple leather, and basically the notebook just slips into the covers, so it slips in the front and in the back. And this is an A6 size if you're interested. And the notebook, as I said before, is a Nanami 7Cs A6 Tomoe River paper notebook. And you can find that. And I'll link all of the links below on the companies that I used to get all this stuff. But like I said, if you guys have a good company that makes faux leather or vegan leather notebooks, let me know, because I'm definitely on the lookout. But yeah, let's just get to it. So my first page is just some sticky notes with a little quote that I have here, and just some scrapbook paper. Actually, it was like a note pad that I got at the Dollar Tree a really long time ago, and just some little washi tape. And this is just something I can put a picture on or a quote on that I like. The next one, I have some pictures here that I really loved. Just a lotus, some angels, and some watercolor. And then I have a little prayer here, and this is kind of going off of the Book of Shadows or Grimoire. It's a prayer for the person who reads this book or who uses this book. And it basically says, may any and all who read this be washed in love and healing light. May the information in this journal prove useful to any and all who read this. May God and the angels protect any and all who walk this path. May the light anchor you and grow and catch like wildfire from one to another. May all realize we are one. And I said, amen. And I just kind of made that up. Partly it was about this book, partly it's about the lightworker path, and I liked it. So that's on this page here. And sorry, my camera keeps going in and out, but with the white, it kind of sets it up. And then, so I have some intentions here. I just wrote intentions and then some goals for myself about this book and kind of why I'm using it and what I, want to get out of this. The next page is my table of contents, and it's quite extensive, and I've been numbering all of the pages, and I have a big section here that's blank. So basically all of these are things that I've learned over the last year, like resources, what's golden light about, chakra weaving, grounding, EFT tapping, cutting cords, the violet flame, transcendental meditation, what is white light, healing white light, water, belief and trust, my notes on affirmations. So I've been writing my own affirmations and putting them in here. Garden plants. So what plants do I want when I have a garden? What do I want to focus on? There's little notes about the Lotus Awakening. That was a video that I did with Buddha several months ago, and it was just really impactful, so I journaled a bunch about it. And it just goes into things like astral travel, transmuting negative thoughts, being an empath, what that means to me and what it looks like for me. Star seeds. Who's my starseed family? Lots of different stuff. And then kind of over on this side, so we have my board of trustees here. This is on page 31. I have my list of who's on my board of trustees. So that's just kind of my term for who's on my council, basically. So I have my angel team, I have my starseed family, I have a bunch of ascended masters that I really resonate with. And when I'm really wrestling with a big question, I turn to them and I ask all of them to provide input. And it's kind of partly a meditation visualization process that I use, where I really imagine myself in a boardroom at the head of a table, and I'm listening to each of the beings that I've called to be a part of my board of trustees to give me information on the situation. And it's very helpful for me, and I love it so much. And so I wanted to make sure I documented that. And then I have a bunch of space here, and I wanted to give lots of space for other things that I'm learning and things that, I'm going to be wanting to journal. And then I started with, on page 50, basically highlighting and documenting all the beings that I've connected with. There's a ton more on here that I need, or not on here, that I need to add. But basically a summary of, of who they are, how they connect with me, what kind of, guidance have I received from them, just lots of different stuff about them that I really like to just document. I do have some pictures of some of them, like Buddha. There's a picture of Buddha. Let's see if I can find it. Here's a picture of Buddha and the Lotus Awakening. So flower lotus. I did a bunch of journaling. I did a little flower here that I drew. And I may add to this, I may not, but that's just kind of an example. Let's see here. I absolutely love the Lord of the Rings series, and J.R.R. Tolkien is a really big inspiration for me in a lot of my writings that I've been working on, and I've been channeling him quite a bit. And so I have a page for him. I haven't filled it out yet, but I put a picture here. And then I have Artemis here, and I love her so much, and I've really resonated with her for a long time. And so I'll put more information about her here. These little photos that I have what's called an HP sprocket, and it's an amazing thing. And it's just a little printer here. I'm not affiliated with them, just to let you know. I just love this product. And basically, I use these little printer papers that you can buy in packs on Amazon or at the store. Michael's, I think, sells these as well. And basically, you put them in here and you print them, and the back is sticky, so you can actually use them as like stickers. And so I use them a lot in my journaling, my everyday carry, as well as in here as my reference journal. So yeah, there's that. And let's see what else here. Oh, I have a resources page right here. It's kind of bare. Over time, I add things to it. So I have like a list of books that I would recommend, or I have read, or I've really enjoyed. Facebook pages that I really like. Locations that I like to go to ground at. YouTube channels that I follow that I really like. And also individuals that I work with or want to work with at some point in my life, and just people who I want to keep an eye on because I know they do really good work, and I would love to work with them at some point, or they just are putting out a lot of amazing content, and I just want to, kind of be mindful of what they're doing, so that way it's just interesting to see this channeling or mediumship, or if you want to call it new age, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of people out there, and you can always learn from everyone. And so I just like to keep a list of people that I know I could learn a lot from. So I like to have that. And then after the resource page, it goes down through things that I've learned. So chakra weaving, golden light. I also note who taught me what, when, and where. So that way I can refresh myself when I want to know, okay, this tool I haven't used in a while, or I always go to this, where did I learn it from, and who taught it to me, and what was going on at the time, and how was it helpful. Because I like to think about a lot of the contextual stuff around different tools that I've learned, and kind of how am I seeing it play out in my own path and my own way of using tools, and my own way of developing my style in mediumship and channeling, and just basically light working in general, because we can, being a light worker doesn't mean you're just a medium or just channeling messages for people. It means you're just being yourself, and you're sharing your light, and you're sparking others and helping them in their light and their path. And I just love it. So, just trying to make it fun. Here's a page about my empath bubble exercises that I do every day, and about cutting cords, and how you can ask Archangel Michael, or kind of do your own meditation and cut those cords. And then transcendental meditation and the violet flame. So there's not a lot of pictures on this first few pages, but I really love all of the writing, and I just love it so much. And I like to do some fun fonts and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much my journal, my little reference journal. I have a little pen holder here that I like to put on the outside of my journal, so it keeps everything nice and tucked in. And it's also from Chic Sparrow, and I just kind of put it there. And the pen that I like to use, for those of you who are pen aholics, kind of like me, I use a Hi-Tec 0.5 Colletto, and it's just in black. There we go. It's just in black, and it's a 0.5. But I like it because it's a roller, like kind of a roller ball. And yeah, it just makes my handwriting look a lot better because it's kind of like half print, half cursive. So it looks nice, and yeah, it's something that I can just easily use, and it dries pretty quickly on this paper, so it doesn't like smear really fast. If you're writing, you're not going to smear anything, and it just looks really nice. So I just wanted to share that because, I've been, like I said before, working on this a lot, and I've been wanting to share it, but I just haven't had the time yet, and I'm not really out of space where I would consider this done by any means whatsoever. But I just love it so much, and I just really enjoy having it in one spot. This isn't an everyday carry. I keep this at home on my desk, and I try and when I'm working on other projects or uploading lots of videos to my Channeling with Love YouTube channel or my personal Ashley Cunningham Medium YouTube channel, um, that takes quite a bit of time. So I try and work on this while I'm doing other things. And yeah, that's pretty much everything there. Sorry, this kind of took me a little bit of time, 20 minutes of discussing stationery and my journals and whatnot, but it's something that I'm really passionate about. I really enjoy it, and I love recording my guidance that I receive and just documenting who I talk with, how I interact with them, what's our relationship like, as well as tools and things that I've learned from a lot of people. So that's just kind of a one-stop shop for me. And I mean, as you're writing things out, you're kind of memorizing them. At least for me, writing is a way for me to kind of solidify it in my mind. But I just love it so much. I also have a lot of, like, I have a business planner where I keep track of all my readings and classes and everything like that. And I have lots of like slips of paper just shoved in all these different pockets of, just guidance that I've received from my team or from Ascended Masters and when I'm at work primarily, because I don't really get a lot of time to just sit there and have a conversation when I'm at work or I'm out in public. I can sit here for, hours just kind of talking to myself or like lounging around and connecting with my team. But when I'm out and about, it's a little bit more difficult for me. Just there's a lot of external distractions. So I just write everything down really quickly. And maybe I'll go through just kind of a dump, I guess, and go through and show you guys kind of how I keep track of everything. I have different types of notes that I keep in certain spots in certain places that kind of all go together and are really helpful for me. But yeah, anyway, this was a fun video for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have ideas or comments or your own style, let me know. Post in the comments or share a video. That would be really awesome. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Love you guys. Bye.